Hello, everybody, and welcome to Hucker's Hideout. Today, we're checking out the pre-alpha build for Anvil Empires. While I go through the settings here, we're going to give a little intro. This massively multiplayer game where thousands of players work together to build empires, wage war, and conquer each other in a persistent online world. We will eventually march alongside armies of real players in massive melee battles and large-scale sieges. Anvil Empires release date yet to be announced, so stay tuned. Anvil Empires Steam page for updates. The link is below, and let's sit back, relax, and enjoy as we get in here. And as you can tell, I'm kind of doing voiceovers this time. We're trying something new. I'm going to be acting as more of a narrator. So we got to agree to all these pre-alpha things, which is great. I got to tell everyone this is the pre-alpha build, which I love. And this is where we got to choose our faction here. So we have the pagans, who are forged in the frigid southern waters of the wayward sea. This is like a new faction, so they kind of have newer players. The ancients are the forebears shaped the lands of Caligo, I think is how you pronounce it. And we pray to your gods. And then the remnants, they have a cool shield type. I like the square on that. Yeah, they live in the fertile, verdant lands of potential. Oh, yes. Very good potential. No, I really like the ancients because of the circular shield. I'm a Viking guy at heart, so we're gonna go them. But yeah, this is the map. The map's massive. For the alpha, they just have this little area, little townships. So that's where we're gonna start, and we're gonna try to spawn in. Oh, failed attempt. It's classic, pre-alpha. So let's try a different one, and we're connecting. And yeah, like I said, this is kind of from the developers of Foxhole, so it's definitely kind of along those lines. You gotta wait in queues for a little shard kind of stuff, but it's pre-alpha, so that's how it goes. But yeah, I've played a lot of Foxhole. I have over 3,000 hours. I wouldn't call myself an expert, as most people know who've played Foxhole. It's you gotta play a lot. But yeah, I'm enjoying this new concept. So yeah, here's our basics. We got to gather basic resources, and then we use a knife to hunt animals. And we got to maintain our health and stamina with food. And then we go into the underworld. And then, we can be in sieges and eventually get chickens and horses. I like how that one's after the sieges. But yeah, here we are. We got a bunch of other people spawning in with us. We're going to, try to accomplish our tutorial to start our first homestead. But yeah, this is our little map. All the green dots are actual players, humans. And they're also trying their adventure, their hand at the Anvil Empires. But yeah, you can see I started a little late here. I spawned in probably 5 hours after the alpha opened up. And so people already have their bases set up. And you can see I got to change my settings. The Ultra was a little high for my rig. I don't have a top of the line setup. So, but yeah, this is kind of the basics where you start. You got to start by gathering the branches. And that's the most important thing. Is you can see top right, you start gathering branches. And the other key resource that I'm actually stumbling into right here, which is pretty nice, is some berries. You can see I'm starting to gather the berries, and that's like our first little food we can munch on. But yeah, you can see there's other people trying to gather all this stuff too, because it's a pretty limited resource at the beginning here. This is my first time in an alpha or the pre-alpha for Anvil Empires, so it's a new experience and pretty fun. Okay, and yeah, you can see you just left click to gather, and it's pretty intuitive, straightforward. We're gonna just try to look for some more resources, see what we can find. It's pretty busy around here, so maybe we'll travel further out. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think I'm gonna try to head north here, but this base is kind of in my way. Looks like I'm running south. Ooh, look at this. These things you can gather from, and they give you silver, which is pretty nice. This silver will come up later. I'll explain it more, but scaring the chickens away. So yeah, they got some wildlife in the game, I'm even though the graphics aren't like super top of the line, I'm still loving it. It's like, I don't know, it's perfect vibe. You can see I use my sprint there, and it runs out really fast. We have like a pretty high stamina bar, and ooh, we're running into the beginnings of a city. Here we go. They're setting up. So this is like the middle town. So this one's getting some pretty heavy defenses. and it might get more likely to be attacked. The back one might get sea invaded. It seems we're surrounded by the sea, but we're Vikings. We'll be fine. But yeah, you can see kind of what the resources take to build stuff. And right there, I don't have any resources, so I'm just kind of exploring, checking it out. But yeah, you can see the forests are all beautiful. Yeah, we're gonna get to chopping here soon. Help clear out the woods with the loggers. But yeah, that's kind of the point of this game. You find your own job. And so in this alpha, I decided I kind of wanted to be a blacksmith. So we're gonna go down that path. Oh, and this is my first kill. It's a night kill. I found a glitched out deer stuck on some rocks. And this is where I realized that you need a knife to harvest stuff, even though the intro screen told me that. And I'm like, yeah, okay. There's nowhere to build a knife, of course. So it seems like we need to set up a base before we can do any actual real gathering. And I'm a miner at heart, so it hurts me to have to first build a base, but I get it, part of the game. Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's a keybind for a different build menu, maybe, like crafting menu. And here you can see a little bit more of the keybind options. There's quite a few, which is great. We're going to head back out, hopefully to start our base. And I kind of want to, oh, there's a friend. Hello, friend. No, he's building. Let's let him be. Okay, so now we're at the northern town. This town has like a little bit of a base setup. This is like the main keep. And I'm thinking I'm going to build in this little flat area over here. See if we have somewhere we can build. So you can see there, I pulled up the build menu and then I selected the homestead kind of keystone. It's kind of like a, I don't know, tool cupboard, like in Rust or something, like just your main where you can build area. I guess tool cupboard is not a perfect example, but you know what I mean. You can see kind of the area you'll be allowed to build in, and it tells you your distance to the nearest town, just like Foxhole, which I appreciate. I always need to know that. But yeah, I like this build grid too that pops up. So it also gives you like a layout. You can kind of see what the terrain issues will be and what your grid is on. And yeah, we're choosing here. We're going to be right on the little rocky cliff. And yeah, it says we can build with our hands if we have one branch and we build it, and then we can join the family homestead. And we can only have one homestead per family, which is pretty great. You can ally with other families, but we're not to that point yet. We're just starting. But yeah, I'm going to go into a little like time-lapsey kind of speed up here, and you can see how you build the base. You build a foundation, and I'm going to build a simple square, not try to complicate it too much. Every foundation is just one branch, so really cheap. I don't know if that's going to stay, but maybe it's just for the alpha, but I appreciate that. Branches were pretty hard to find at the beginning here. And we need some way up, so let's build a little stairway. Oh, I like this little corner. Perfect. And yeah, now we have our base. But no base is complete without walls. Let's be honest. Anyone can just run in. So let's try to build our walls. And I'm thinking I'm going to want some windows. That's kind of why I built it like this. But then I was like, maybe I just go for walls fully. And so we're just covering it fully in walls. And the doorway has disappeared. Why does that happen? I wonder. Oh no, this is gonna be an issue. But yeah, the blueprints don't stay forever. You can see they kind of just disappear steadily. And yeah, this is our final finish. We finished all of our walls, but now we need a roof. And so yeah, it took me a little more. We had to gather more resources. I didn't have enough branches. Always an issue. But yeah, now that we have the roof, you'll kind of see the roof is a very interesting kind of to build. I'd say it's easier to kind of select the roof you want and put it underneath the area and scroll your mouse wheel. But I'm looking through the other roof options here because there are quite a few roof options and I am not sure what they all mean. I'm going to have to play with that a little more when I get a different build area. Because building so close to town, you can see I only get a tiny little square to build in because they don't want, people with too big of an area in town. And everyone has their little cottage, which, is protected by the outer wall. And yeah, so we'll get into different roofs later. So we'll start with these simple edge roofs. So you can kind of see scrolling the mouse wheel scrolls it up and down, like height-wise. And yeah, you just kind of have to find the middle. And that's something like I was a little worried about, like exactly how you were going to build these. Because if you remember, when you were placing the walls, you had to click with your hands to start filling with branches. And so I'm wondering if you have to do that here. But you can see I just left clicked and the wall has appeared out of nowhere. So that's it's an instant build. You just click and it appears. And so that made that a little easier for sure. I definitely, think the roofs might need a little work, but maybe it's just because I'm working with these specific ones. But yeah, I don't mind. The corners were interesting. They're the harder thing to place. I definitely recommend placing a middle one first and then the corners. That helped me a lot. And we're going to go into a little time lapse here again, a little speed up. And so you can see kind of my struggles, but in faster motion, so you don't have to deal with it. But yeah, it was definitely fun building the little shack. I was very excited at this point already, because I've been waiting for this game for a while. It's definitely been on my wish list, as they say. I've been waiting for beta access or alpha access, and I got it, and I'm excited. And you can see to fill the little top, we use a little conical shaped top one, which I love that design. And yeah, now that we have our base with walls, we can actually build something inside of it. And so it recommends you start with a bed, which is a good idea. Just like all these games, you need a respawn point because you will die. If it's not to an enemy, it's going to be to wildlife. And I definitely, let's just say I run into some wildlife. Yeah, now you can see just going into the keystone, there's inventory space. You can place stuff in there. But I got to keep building. I need more of these basics. So now we're going to go for the workbench. This is kind of your, first little crafting option where you can build your basic tools like a knife and an axe and pickaxe and all that good stuff. And it also has other things, which I was pleasantly surprised to see. They have like armor and, you have some saddles you can build potentially in the future, which the saddles will come into play for sure. But yeah, I really want an axe. That's what I'm here for. The flint axe. Because once I have an axe, then I can start chopping trees. And then maybe getting branches will be easier. You can see my inventory. I definitely stocked up some resources. And I wasn't sure what all of them were for. The seeds in particular, I was confused about. But I was like, you might as well keep them. That's the beauty of these games. You know you're going to need everything. And so, yeah, we're going to go for an axe and, a knife. Because 2 key ingredients. I can harvest some meat. And, And so, when speaking about meat, let's get a campfire going so we can actually cook some up. And you also need this to make the berries into food. Yeah, and the berries are very, just as you'd expect if you just cook a berry meal. It's not as good as a steak meal, kind of like real life. And so, we'll start with our campfire, and we'll put in some berries. And you can see that you can fill up the inventory with 3 in each spot, but it doesn't immediately start cooking. And so we'll run into that later. You put fuel in and it starts fueling. You can see the timer goes up as you put branches in. And branches, as wood is kind of a basic fuel. And so, we'll get into the cooking more later. I've just got to start some up because you can see my hunger bar in the top left is struggling. It's the little yellow one. There's a yellow one for food, a red one for health, and a white one for stamina. And you get more health and stamina based on how full you are. So I need some food because you can see I'm struggling to even chop 1 tree down right now. And so I'm not going to be very much use to anyone, even myself. And that's why we got to get the food going. But you can see we're starting with our wood chopping. And to chop wood, it's not just like you get a log and then it's, a log for anything. You need to break down the log, of course. And what do you do that with? It's I'm trying to find it here in the menu. The menu is definitely interesting. There's a lot of little icons, but once you get used to it, it's nice. But we get the sawbuck out. And so this is a cool little item or whatever. It looks really awesome. I'm a huge fan. And it's a sawbuck where you can literally just chop your wood up into whatever you want. You get to choose your final product in a little menu here. I'll pop into it. And you just up in there, the wood planks is what we're going to go with. You can see we got 1 log. Oh, there's a sound in the distance. What is this trouble? Ooh. And yeah, that's the fun of playing with a bunch of other people online. You don't know what they're doing, but they're all helping the cause like you. And so yeah, we're going to try to get our food here, which didn't cook because I didn't hit the little cook button. If you watch what I do here, boom, click the cook button, and now it says no fuel. So now we know we put fuel in and it will actually cook food. But there is a mechanic where you can overcook food. And so I didn't want to do that while I was chopping a log up. And I was thinking, maybe instead of using branches for fuel, maybe we use something else that might last longer than 30 seconds. So I don't have to monitor it quite as much. But that's the funny part with these games is you learn, new ways to do things as you progress. But yeah, now you can see we chopped up our log into little planks. And these planks are, a better refined resource than branches. So they provide 3 minutes of fuel. So now you can see the graphic changed on the campfire. We're cooking. And now the food has been cooking. And we didn't catch it right when it was done. So you can see that it is only a 1-star food. And that's signified in the top left of the little icon. It's like a green plus sign. And yeah, we can munch that. And you'll see our little health bar pop up a little bit. Now we get more health and more stamina, which is great. But yeah, now you'll see when we pull one out that's fresh, so we'll wait the little 6 seconds. And if you pull it out right when it's done, you get a better meal. And so this one, and you can see the little green pluses, that's a +3 one. And so this one will actually fuel you more per time you eat. And that's important because if you notice right when I ate in the top left, there's a little red icon that appeared below my stamina bar. And that means I can't eat that type of food again. So we finally got the dog to quiet down. He's being a little lunatic, but that's okay. I hope it wasn't too loud. But yeah, we are moving up. Now we'll see. I tried to eat the other food and it is not good. So yeah, you can see now that's a 2-star one because I let it cook on the grill a little too long on the cook fire and it got a little burnt. But yeah, you can see now we are able to try to harvest a little better. Our stamina is still pretty low, so now I'm going to eat the 3-star berry punch. And we'll see how this one fills up our food bar. Boom. And so you can see that little red icon appeared. And yeah, now that means I cannot eat the same type of food. And so I'm going to have to, stay away. Well, there's a deer. And I'm out harvesting again. This is a big moment for me because I thought I was going to get food right. I was like, I can get, I have my knife on me. I'm ready to hunt a deer. And then I just found this bag on the ground and look at that. A couple pieces of meat. Get rid of the berry. Get 2 pieces of meat. Oh, yeah. Perfect. All right. Now we are moving through the woods. We're trying to get home with our meat quarry. And we get chased by a wolf here, which is terrifying. Wolves aren't the scariest enemy, but they're one of them. He's coming for me. Oh, and the gate saved us. That was lucky. But yeah, and luckily while we did that, we also spotted a deer that was glitched out on the cliffs again. And so he was stuck. I could just easily chop him up. I went for the punch, and you could see I was out of stamina. But yeah, we're going to punch him to death. I kind of forgot I could just knife him, but yeah, look at that. Boom, splatter, blood splatter. I hope that doesn't bother anyone, but we got the deer because, that's nature. You gotta kill and then eat. At least I use everything I kill. But yeah, we're going to get some more meat here. We already have 2 from that random bag, and we are going to get some more. And this is something I learned is that they are thin pelts that come with them. And so you need to take those home as well. And we'll get into the pelt drying in a little bit. But yeah, the meat is key because when you eat meat, you can see it takes a while to cook. That takes 3 minutes, which is quite the long cook. Sorry for the quick cuts, but that's, the nature of the beast here. We got to keep it moving. And so, yeah, you can see we can't eat that same food type. And so once the deer leg is done, the deer meat, the roasted game. Now that's a 3-star roasted game, which is going to be very tasty. And so we get in our hands. We're going to munch it up. Chomp, chomp, chomp. Oh, and look at our food bar now. Oh, Yeah, so the roasted deer is very much better. But you can see nothing's cooking now, and so once we pulled the berries out, we were allowed to start cooking the other common meat. So that's another interesting little mechanic with the cooking meat. But you definitely got to monitor your meat unless you time it with your fuel, which I learned later. But yeah, now we got our first spear, and I'm excited to use the spear because I've seen some like videos at this point, and I was like, oh, you can throw the spear. And it took me a little while to figure out how to do it, but if you press C while you're holding the spear, you switch into like a throwing mode, basically, and then you can kind of like javelin it at your target, and you get a pretty big range. It's pretty ridiculous. Like, look at this throw. I don't even know what that is. What, like 50 feet, maybe, maybe more. Okay, let's hit him. Look at that. You get a little aim cursor. Boom. Oh, it's satisfying. After struggling to get any food at all, now you can spear throw deer. But yeah, it's definitely great. And we are going to use this to our advantage for the survival mechanic. Because if you haven't noticed, there's a survival mechanic, and it's pretty intense, I guess. The food bar drops quickly, and you don't really notice. I'm not sure if the way it works is the more work you do, the faster it drops, but it definitely feels like that. Because when I'm running around working on the little homestead here, it drains. And yeah, this is our first little trouble we run into. There's a local that wasn't very happy with us for some reason. I'll be honest, he just ran up on me and started chasing me right here while I was getting my deer meat and stuff. And so I was like, man, do you want to fight? Like, it looks like he wants to fight. And I was like, I want to plant trees. And yeah, then I noticed, like, all of a sudden he just stops moving and kind of drops. And so I think that's when you disconnect. That's what your character kind of looks like? You just kind of drop out of nothing. And so I plan on going and checking him out, but with a little pointy object here. Let's check it. Oh, okay, yeah, he was dead, I guess. But yeah, you can see that there's no loot on him. He had nothing. But our avatar is now trained up. So let's go see what that mechanic is. You can see we got to deposit an avatar. And so this is kind of like in Foxhole, your respawns. You use avatars in this. And so you train up your avatar, your little soldier in the bottom left there. And then you steadily are able to use those for respawns. So we'll put our silver in. Silver is kind of what maintains your base from decay. And we will submit our avatar. And you can see now we're changed back into an apprentice. And we have one of the 3-star soldiers in there. We have a 1-star and a normal soldier as well, just in case we needed a respawn. But I finally got a 3-star. Okay, and now we can finally kind of complete our final basic setup here. I know there's an exterior wall to my whole town, but I felt like I should also have a wall on my base, just in case they get past the wall or the wall's not perfect. And you can see the wall placement is a little tricky, at least for me, to begin with. You definitely need to get it perfect. It also seemed like it wasn't placing directly along the grid pattern for me, which was interesting. You can kind of see it's a slightly diagonal, which I'm not sure is exactly what you want. But if you want to deconstruct something, it's pretty simple. You just got to build it fully and then blow it up like you just saw. So yeah, we're going to build the wall first this time, a little more clever. But yeah, this is me setting up the good old blueprints for the wall, which are very important, and at least it makes me feel safer. And yeah, there's like a max range to each little wall segment. That's kind of why I'm stopping and going back with the max range that you can place one. And yeah, it's very intuitive wall placement, and you can make some very interesting shapes, I bet, if you want to make some fun, unique kind of stuff going on. But I'm trying to decide, like, a second gate. Do I want a back door? And I'm like, I kind of want a back door, It's always rough when you got to go into your house only one way. At least that's how I feel. I like having options. Ooh, sneaky fit. Perfect. And you can see we also built a little storage container. I built that earlier, didn't really talk about it, but the storage containers are pretty simple to build and easy, and they look like that. But now, yeah, we gotta make sure that we keep placing at least one branch in each build so that the blueprint doesn't disappear like it did for the house. And I'm learning. You can kind of see that, like, this one worked in one go, which was a surprise for me. the one thing I did run into as an issue though, and it comes up right around here, is I am out of sticks. Luckily, you can walk through blueprints, so it's no big deal. But I decided if I was on a stick journey, I might as well get an improved way to get them. And so I went for getting a cart. And so the hand cart's pretty nifty because when you pick up a log, it fills up both of your hands and you can't really do anything else but carry that log. And so the hand cart allows you to, you can see, oh, and that is a mechanic I haven't talked about yet, but a tool breaks. And so there is durability in this game, which is rough, but it gets better as you progress through better weapons, which is really good. And there's mechanics to repair as well, which is nice. But I'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's go logging first. And you can see you can just press E to pick up the log, and then you can left click on your cart to put it in. Pretty straightforward. And then you just press Q to grab your cart, and you're on your way. And so yeah, I really like that. Keep it simple, And then you can just get home, left click on a log, left click on the sawbuck. The sawbuck has its own inventory space. It has space for 3 logs, which is nice. You can see. So we'll place in the last log. And then here's where I choose my little branches. And then after all that logging, I was thinking, well, what do we do with these seeds? I might as well try to see. And so I was first thinking like maybe you cook them or something, but I was like, no, you can't cook these. So I figured out that there are some seeds that are like little plants and then some seeds that are trees. And the trees you want to replant because they'll steadily grow into big logs. And the longer you wait to chop a tree, the more it matures. Like it'll have 1 log if you chop it early, and then 3 logs if you wait for like full maturity. And I'm pretty sure 3 logs is the max because I didn't get one with any more than that. So maybe I just didn't wait long enough. Let me know in the comments if you know. But yeah, I really enjoyed playing this game. It was a lot of fun learning everything and all the little quirks and things you can do. This is me finally finishing my wall gloriously. And I hope you all enjoyed. I'm going to finish the little wolf hunt here so you guys can all have something to watch. But yeah, if you enjoyed it, let me know with a comment, subscribing is great as well. It always lets me know I'm doing something good. And if you have any ideas for future things, if you like the narrated style, let me know, and I'll try to keep it going. And other than that, I hope you all have a great day, and we'll see you all on the next video.